Or never came back with a counteroffer, so that's usually where it lands. Last person to talk wins. All right, Amber Pearson, we love you. We know you. We appreciate everything you do to serve people, and the presentation. I'm sure whatever you've put together today took time, effort, and a lot of thought. So, for those of you listening, Amber is a top producer, and she knows what she's talking about. So grab your pencils and your pens, grab a piece of paper if you still do that kind of stuff, or take notes in your phone. You're going to learn a lot today, and we're going to get stronger with digital together today, right, Amber?
We're gonna do it.
Cool.
Well, thanks for that introduction, Scott. And again, you guys, for those of y'all that don't know me, and you have your pens and your papers, Scott apparently still takes trains. If you heard that earlier, I'm not sure who's getting to Ignite by train, but if you do get there by train, definitely let me know because I think that's awesome and hilarious. But again, my name's Amber Pearson. I am a top producer and agency owner, direct to Jim Larson. And I'm really excited and honored to be here with you guys today because Team Skate is very close to me and I look up to them so much. So it's very fun to be able to come and kind of talk to y'all about the digital products because corporate leaves clues, and there are a lot of reasons why we should be focusing on those digital products. So we're going to kind of just dive right on in, and I'm hoping, Kate, am I able to screen share? Let's see here.
I made you co-host.
Perfect. Beautiful. All right, let me get this all pulled up here and we'll kind of get going. This box apparently wasn't formatted first. Um, doo -doo -doo. My thing is not participating correctly. Bear with me. There we go. Okay. Can you guys see this okay? Is it like formatted all right? Are we good? Okay, I got a couple thumbs up, so that's a good sign. So, who wants to protect more families and get paid faster? Put a one in the chat if you'd like to protect more families and get paid more and faster. We're going to talk about really just overall profitability with digital products and kind of the posture to have to win using these digital products. And as you see here, low comp Larry on one hand has all sorts of other products, whole life, and they might be the right sometimes, but on the other hand, you have your instant issue options. And if you're kind of an old dog in this game, some of you have been here for a while and maybe you're used to the products that you've been writing and you know that you need to start looking towards digital, but you're just not really sure exactly where to dive in and go. Or maybe you're brand new and you're just kind of overwhelmed with all of the options that are available and out there. We're going to break it down and really just talk about the reasons why you should focus on the digital products that Quality has been releasing out to us. So just to make it super simple from the start, if you are brand new, I kind of want to speak to you here first. Instant issue is going to be those immediate underwriting decisions and immediate coverage. Average time from the application to issue is about 20 minutes. Simplified issue may involve a human underwriter review before an approval. So that means you write the application and then they send it to underwriting. Typically, it's about 2 to 4 days before you get a response back. And then you have your fully underwritten, which requires lab work, medical exam, doctor's records, and a lot of time kind of going back and forth, following up even on the status of where that app even is. And maybe it had to get sent by carrier pigeon somewhere. And you just never really know what's going on with it. And average time for that is going to be 4 to 6 weeks to issue. And let me tell you, I've done enough of them to know that any opportunity I have to avoid them, I do. So that's kind of just a basic breakdown on the differences here. Why clients love instant issue. People don't want insurance, you guys. They want relief to their problems and solutions to their problems. Most people aren't actually going out just so super excited to buy insurance, but what they do want is they want a solution to their problems and they want that peace of mind. An instant decision solves their problems quick, and it doesn't leave an exposure gap. So what I mean by that is I don't know if you guys have ever had a client apply for something, and in that waiting period of getting the coverage actually approved and issued, something happens. That happened to me a couple of months ago where I had a client apply for something and there wasn't a temporary insurance and he had a stroke in that time period we were waiting. he now was not going to be eligible for that product we were looking at. So, had there been an instant decision product put into place that day when we initially had that appointment, he would have been protected right then and there. So, learn from my mistake and know that there is a reason instant issue has so much weight, even beyond just paying you more and again, solving the client's problems faster. So, why agents love instant issue? Stress kills production faster than lack of skill does. And what do I mean by that? The digital products are going to let you guys spend less time going back and forth and more time actually protecting families and solving people's problems. Okay. With the fully underwritten, as I mentioned, you have to kind of go back and forth with the underwriting and really figure out where things are. And that's just one more task and one more thing you're having to worry about instead of being able to protect a family and then move on to the next. Simplicity in this business scales really quick, and digital products allow you again to cover a family and then move on to the next. So keep things simple and keep moving forward. And the more friction you can actually remove from your sales process, the more success you will have and the happier clients you're going to have because you're not going to be adding layers of issues and hoops for them to jump through. Okay. You're going to have fewer fall offs too. And what I mean by that is people, when they're waiting for an underwriting decision, they maybe could go look elsewhere. They maybe could go look for different solutions. And you're going to have more predictable weeks when you know what is issuing when. And when you're able to have that instant issue come right off the bat, then you know you can control the outcome of your weeks and what's actually issuing. But I hear all the time, it isn't always the cheapest. There are going to be times when a fully underwritten product is required, but and this isn't a statistical fact, but I'm going to go to say about 95% of the time, fully underwritten is not going to be the answer. It might be the most affordable if the application approves and if underwriting approves it at the rate class you're looking at, and if the client actually jumps through all the hoops and does the medical exam and does all of the things. But more often than not, it's not actually even going to come back the way that you applied for. And a lot of the time, the client doesn't actually go through the full process. So clients do get tired of waiting and they start to shop elsewhere. And I think you guys can all agree that we live in a microwave society. People want things done quick, they want things done efficiently, and they want things done really as simply as possible. We all want to put things in the microwave instead of sit and slow roast. The most average people want things just done as quickly and easily as possible so they can move on with their day and go to the next thing. Because again, people aren't out there just looking for insurance and shopping for insurance because it's fun. It's because they want that peace of mind. And the quicker that you can deliver that to the client and to the family, the more success you're going to have. So, and in that process too, delay in the decision from underwriting begins to kill trust, and waiting creates doubt within that client's mind. So the second you have that doubt, it invites second opinions. And if you don't control the timeline of when something issues, you really, again, aren't going to control the outcome. And if you're not controlling the outcome, then you're not sure what you're going to get paid. And if you're losing that sale, you guys, that family's not protected and you're not getting paid. Okay, unplaced business pays you zero. Just because you write an application does not mean that you are getting paid. Okay, so it's really important to make sure you see it through and actually get it issued. And if you want to have a career in this business, then the first thing you need to do is actually stay in business. And in order to stay in business, you need to be profitable. The more business you issue, the more money you make, the more likely you are to be here 5 years from now. Put a one in the chat if you want to have a wildly profitable business and also still be here 5 years from now. I think we maybe should have been on two, but we're going with one, okay? I'm gonna go to argue that focusing on profit is not selfish and it is essential, okay? I had to personally work on my own relationship with money and price objections when I first started because I thought cheapest was always going to be best for the client. So it took some work for me mentally to really learn and realize that, okay, if there's an option that is maybe $6 more per month that is still with an A-rated carrier that's going to pay me 20% more on that product than another option, that's going to keep me in business and that's going to keep me profitable. I make a promise to all of my clients in that appointment that on their family's worst day, I will be the person that will be there for their beneficiary to file that claim and make sure that check is getting delivered. If I'm not in business to see that promise through, then what does that say about me? Okay, so you have to be the professional that you would want to do business with. And if I don't make enough money to stay in business, I will not be here to deliver on that promise for that family. Put a two in the chat if you want to keep your word and be that resource to you, your clients for years to come. We're on two now. Okay. All right. Well, here's how we're going to be able to do that, you guys. I'm sure you have seen this slide. A couple weeks ago, corporate had our Teach Me How to Digi. We saw those really fun dances that everyone had going on. I saw that there were some requests for me to drop in and do a couple. I am super sick the last couple days, so I'm doing my best. Maybe no dances today, another day. Ask me at Ignite. You have to be there. But Symmetry was created by agents for agents. And that makes us really unique, you guys, because they know that in order for agents to stay in business, that we need to be making money. These products are developed with both the client and the agent and the overall company in mind. So they have competitive rates, instant decision to fit our evolving, again, microwave society world, and then again, the top commissions possible for these types of products. Okay, so we got our on the term side, I'm sure you guys have heard this. We have the Beyond term with Banner. That's instant decision or accelerated underwriting, mean you're getting it sent to a human and they're looking at it typically within a 24-hour business day turnaround. Living benefits, best in class, up to 40-year terms and $2 million without having to send your client to go pee in a cup or get their blood drawn. It is pretty unbelievable and hard to beat. We also have our Easy Track with SBLI. That's going to be instant decision. That application I have done from a cell phone on the back of my horse within a matter of 10 minutes. And you are literally right then and there getting a decision, solving that client's problem. I don't think there's any other app out there as quick as the SBLI Easy Track. It is so simple, up to 1 million 30 year. And then we have our final expense with AMAM, QSFP, full comp product, instant decision up to 100,000, really meant for the healthier adults. This product is fantastic, you guys. And I had a client last week that had messaged me and said, I had someone tell me that I potentially could get this for $4 less than what we got. And I had to go back and forth with her on, well, they're probably, just going through they're probably underquoting you just to try and get their foot in the door. And anyway, we ended up writing her a QSFP. She got Preferred Plus. That's paying me 100 and my full contract rate. And then on top of that, there's no way anyone else anywhere could come in behind me and beat the rate that she got because QSFP it's the most competitive out there for a whole life product. And we're really going to focus on those couple today. The Forrester's Live Well Plus Infinite Banking is also incredible, and the F&G IUL with Quantum is unbelievable too. I've written all of these products, but again, for the Infinite Banking and the IUL, if you are in your first season of business, really focus on term and final expense. I feel like this is safe to say, and then reset anything beyond that starting out because there's no quicker way to lose a sale than trying to sell a product that you're not versed and confident in. So for any of the IUL or IBC type products, talk to an SME is my recommendation. Um, and right now, you guys, I know you've seen this. Again, you've talked about it, so we're not going to spend a lot of time here, but you are going to get a $50 lead credit after submitting 5 quality apps through April. So between now and April, there's a ton of time to be able to put business in. And then to make it even sweeter, it's getting you towards a destinations trip. And I'm not sure about you guys, but I've only been here 2.5 years, and I have now earned the SBLI trip when we went to Italy last year, the Dorado Banner trip last year, and then I also earned the Lanai trip that we're about to go on in a couple of weeks. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to say if you set your mind to one of these trips, you can earn it. So Even if you are brand new right now, do not discount yourself from being able to earn one of these because they take people from every category, okay? So you can come in and be a top producer and earn this destinations trip this year right now if you put your head to it and decide that you're going to go and you're going to do it, okay? And how awesome is that? How fun is that? Who would like to go have a trip with the founders in an undisclosed destination? All of the destinations they go to are great, you guys. These guys have great taste, trust me. So put a me in the chat if you want to earn a free 5-star trip for two with the founders, and on top of that, get paid full comp for all the business you're writing and protect families with incredible products. Okay, cool. Looks like there's a couple of people that think that would be really fun. Um, all right. Now, what number are we on? Put a 4 in the chat if you aren't quite confident in these product details yet, where to find the information, how to even quote these yet. Again, we're going to say yet because this is going to be for you guys. And for you veterans, this might sound basic, but stick with me. And for those of you guys that are new or again, really just trying to figure out what to do, where to go, where to find things, this is kind of going to be for you really quick here. Step one, if you are new in this business and still learning, as I mentioned earlier, I really recommend focusing on term, final expense, and whole life, and then consulting with your mentor or an SME about anything IUL, IBC, DFL related for potential resets so you can earn as you learn. Um, Step one is going to be, again, deciding if it's going to be term or if it's going to be whole life. That's the kind of great place to start as a very basic rule of thumb. Decide if it'll be term, decide if it'll be whole life. Step two, enter the client's information into Navigator and see what comes up. See what that quote is. And that's what you run for your appointment. Put a 4 in the chat if that is where you end your underwriting. If that is like, okay, good, I got my options. I can't see the chat, so if there's some 4s in theirs, that's okay. You're off to a great start. But good and great underwriters know that Navigator really is the starting point. It is a really great tool to be able to use, but it's not quite fully inclusive yet, and the technology really is cutting edge. But it is the starting point for underwriting and being able to qualify your client because there's a lot of gray area with certain medications and certain diagnosis. I'll give you guys an example. I had an agent last week put a client's information into Navigator, and it came up. It was an older client in her late 60s, had diabetes, and took metformin. Otherwise, that's all she had. Should have been able to qualify for a lot of things. Navigator put her at Eagle Select 2 when really she should have been Eagle Select 1, which made the rate look a lot higher. So again, it's important to use Navigator as the baseline. And then what you're going to do is you are going to take a look at the underwriting matrix, look at the product guides, and pre-qualify your client manually that way. And then, if appropriate, risk assessing with a carrier. Again, if you are new, you will learn so much by taking a few minutes to go and risk assess with a carrier. Who has entered the information into Navigator, presented rates, and then all of a sudden it came back differently. It's happened to all of us. That's part of it. But again, I want to help empower you guys to know where to find these things. So if you are new, again, maybe you don't even know where to find underwriting guides. Maybe you're like, I don't even know what the matrix is. I'm sure you all have really great resources to be able to find different things, but we're going to show you anyway. Let me make my window bigger here really quick. You can't see how many tabs I have open, which is probably good. Otherwise, you might be scared for me. So HQ, if you come over here down to sales tools, carriers and products, you're going to all of a sudden see all of our core carriers. Let's take a look at, again, since I love writing banner, we're going to go over to banner and go info. And all of a sudden right here, you have all the different emails if you have any questions. But if you scroll down further, you have frequently asked questions, product overviews, agent guides, understanding benefits, and also an underwriting guide. So let's take a look at this underwriting guide. You can scroll down. And again, I know for some of you, you're like, I've seen this. I know how to do this. I'm not talking to you right now. I think it's really important to kind of go back to the basics sometimes for people that are new in this business and feel really overwhelmed by all of the things that we do have. So you're going to find build charts. You're going to find different conditions that people could be diagnosed with and what Banner would say as far as approval or not approval and what their conditions are. So having access to this is again really going to help you qualify your client and help them decide, if this is a product that you would want to apply for them. Okay, so there's where to find the underwriting guides, and each of these carriers has these. Again, you could go over to American Amicable and then go down to Quality Secure Future Preferred right here and have all of these same information here. I hope that's helpful for some of y'all that are brand new. And then the other tool, again, this is the underwriting guides. And then the next thing that you want to take a look at is going to be sfgquotes.com. Some of y'all have seen this. And then again, this sheet, underwriting cheat sheet right here, lives open in my computer at all times. Because if I'm dialing in on the phone with a client and they tell me they have, let's say COPD, sorry if I'm making y'all dizzy. Let's say they have COPD. I can, while I'm on the phone with them, know what questions I should be asking. Okay, when were you diagnosed? Any oxygen prescribed for that? And I'll be seeing right then and there what the carriers are going to want to be seeing. So again, let's say for Banner, for example, this would be their requirements for that. I would not be writing Banner for a client with COPD really in any case, just as a disclaimer. But again, this is another tool to have open and to use. Another tool. Okay, let's go over here. We're gonna pull up Navigator. If you're like, where do I even find these products, these digital products? You're gonna go to HQ, this little waffle grid buddy up here in the top left corner, and then click Navigator. Again, I know for a lot of you, you've seen this before. But you're gonna pull Navigator up and we'll just open one of these guys. You can enter the client's information, quote and apply, have it all right here. You can do a quick quote just to see, what it might look like. It's not going to give you a specific underwriting term, or you can do a personalized quote and start to enter their information in here, and then it's going to pull it all up. We'll say Miss Chanel is 5'8", 165 pounds. Yes. No. No. She doesn't have any health issues. And then again, these are going to be guidelines for you. And I know, again, a lot of you guys have already seen this here, but I want to show you a couple little tricks here. It's going to give her a personalized health class. So based on all the information in Navigator that we entered, it's saying she should be preferred plus. So based on the information that you gave the tool, that's what it thinks for her. Personally, I never quote preferred plus. This is just a pro tip. I would always rather quote sometimes one below just to be able to come back and tell the client good news rather than having to come back and give them bad news. So with specifically SBLI and Banner, I'll quote preferred, not preferred plus, personally, just because preferred plus really is particular on what they will approve someone for. And again, you always have the option after you get an offer from the client or from the carrier to be able to increase the coverage or decrease it or increase the term length amount. So you do have the flexibility there. It's not locked in, set in stone. One other feature I want to show you guys really quick is demo apps. If you've never written these and you're a little nervous about it, you can come over here to learn/demo app and actually do a test drive of the application to be able to see what the process is going to look like. And I think this is such an underrated tool that people do not plug in and use. And again, if you've been here a while and you're used to writing the apps that you're used to and comfortable writing, like the Mutual of Omaha Living Promise or the AM Dignity Solutions, those are all great products and nobody's saying they're not. But they're not going to pay you nearly as much as an AMM QSFP would, or even the UHL QSFC will. So if you're a little bit nervous about the application, just know you can come over here and literally run through the application just to see specifically what the client is going to see on their end. And that's going to give you a little bit more confidence heading into the application if it's an app that you've never actually written before. Again, we're not going to run through it today, but I challenge y'all to go and take a test drive on these just to see what that does look like. But I hope this was helpful, like having a little walkthrough right there. The biggest thing I want to remind you guys too is your clients are going to teach you about insurance, and each appointment you set is going to give you the opportunity to learn a new case, a new medication, a new need. You can't possibly learn everything about all of these products or any of the products that are out there just by reading and just by studying the underwriting guides. I mean, it's really important to do your homework prior to an appointment, but you can't become an expert underwriter or really know how to leverage and use the digital products if you're not setting appointments and actually running appointments with actual families. So I challenge y'all to go out and take ownership of your education and know that you're building a foundation of knowledge to work from for your entire career. We have the tools, we have the resources, and it's up to us to be resourceful and work through massive action, constant correction, even in our underwriting and product selection. So set more appointments, present and sit with more families, write more high comp instant issue digital apps, and your profitability is going to skyrocket. And hopefully, you're going to be on that destination trip for Symmetry later this year. So let's go protect some families, get paid faster, and write some quality instant issue business, y'all. What do you
Hey,
think?
come on. That's super helpful. You said earlier stress kills more production than
I couldn't tell you, Scott, what I said. Stress kills more product. I mean,
someone help me finish this quote. Stress kills more production than show me in the
lack
chat.
of skill, lack of
Come
skill.
on.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, because again, like you don't need to be the most skilled person ever. We have the resources and the tools, but if you're constantly stressing over, what's going to happen or if something's going to issue or not, there's so much freedom that comes from knowing at the end of an application you're going to have a decision. And even
Yeah.
if that decision is no and not what you wanted, guess what? You have a backup ready. Again, like it's important to go into your appointments prepared, but like have the confidence and just emotional freedom of knowing that you're going to have a product ready for that client no matter what. So,
Yeah, and if
yeah.
I'm going through like Navigator with them, and
Mhm.
let's say I submit a policy for them, you said waiting creates doubt. And I look at that two ways. Like they could be waiting for underwriting, or they
Yeah.
could be waiting for you to like make your pivot happen. So talk to me like give me like your minute advice on pivoting because I know this is something you're really good at. Sometimes going with the first and best option always isn't gonna work out for them. So like would I rebook an appointment with them and wait a couple days? Because when I hear you say waiting creates doubt, I want to, like, I'm
Mhm.
thinking I should probably pivot quick if I want to keep
Yeah.
the person from looking elsewhere with another agent.
Yeah, no, and it's 100% all about the posture in that regard. You don't need to, again, like, there's nothing wrong with saying, in my appointment, I preface everything by saying, we don't even know if these numbers are on the table for you yet. We're going to be able to have a yes or a no at the end of this application. And if it ends up being a no, that's not a problem at all. That's the perk of working with a broker, right? So I'm going to be able to, no matter what, make sure that we're finding you the most competitive option out there that you qualify for. I think that is a part that gets missed so often is people think, okay, like, yeah, we're going to apply and you're going to get approved. It's no, I'm putting these numbers together based on the information you've given me, but the carrier has final say. And if for some reason they're not able to say yes today, I already have a backup planned that we're going to be able to take a look at. So no worries if they're not able to say yes. Is that fair? And then you just move along.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's all about how you posture and set the expectation, before you even go into an application with a client. Because if you prepare them for what could happen, then they're not surprised all of a sudden if it's a no. I just have the next application pulled up ready to go and say, oh, looks like we might actually have to take a look at another option. Let's just go and see if we can get a yes from there.
Yeah. If I was brand new, I would be texting my upline saying my first option didn't work out. Where should I pivot to? Because like by now at this point in your journey, Amber, you already
Mhm.
know in your head your first and second option for each client.
Yeah.
So you may have not pulled quotes for that second option. Maybe you do going into it, but you would at least know where you're going.
Yeah, I would know where I'm going because again, if they don't prepare or if they don't approve for the first option, then the second next best option is naturally where I'm going to go. No matter, it doesn't matter what the numbers are, I'll know what it is. But yeah, never underestimate the power of your 911 group chats and the Mac room and all of those tools that we have to pivot.
Good. And then the last thing I wrote down, not the last thing, I have a whole page of notes here, but focusing on profit is not selfish. It's
Hmm.
essential.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to promise my clients that I'm going to be here to take care of you, I have to stay in business to fulfill that promise. And
Yep.
this was hard for me early on. A lot of the folks on this screen didn't know this version of me, but I wanted to get everyone the best price. And Transamerica Term and NLG Term were like my best friends. It was a lot of stress, guys. A lot of stress. Just like jumping through hoops with the underwriter and trying to get things through to the finish line. All meanwhile, like I would lose a client here and there because we were waiting so long. So yeah, get yourself paid, stay in business. And Amber, you're a pro at this. So I appreciate you for coming on and doing your presentation. I think it's absolute gold. 70 people started off on this call. I think up until like a second ago, there were still 70 people on this call. So I know it was well done.
Sarah Hadley asked a question in the chat that's actually a really good question that I think is worth bringing up. If you go into Navigator and enter your client's information and it says nothing is available, go back and take out whatever you had put in. So this is where using Navigator as the tool and place to start is really important, but there's also a manual, you going and physically looking at underwriting guides and doing risk assessments is super important because you could put the client has like diabetes, but maybe it was gestational, and that Banner actually would take gestational diabetes. So just like remove that filter from there, and then go and look at underwriting guides and then manually pre-qualify them because again, Navigator is right now as it is, it's as good as it is for right now. But again, it's not going to ever be smarter than you and the actual underwriting team. So yeah, I just remove all of the filters that you input and manually pre-qualify. Of
Love it. Love it, Amber. I appreciate you. I'm excited for
course.
this powerhouse we're doing together.
Oh, I am too. I can't wait. I'm about to up my lead spend, probably double, maybe triple. I don't know. We might get crazy. March is going to be
Okay.
expensive between Lanai and Ignite, so I'm excited. Let's have a record-breaking month. Let's do it.
Buy clothes for Ignite or buy clothes for Hawaii this week or triple your lead spend. I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
It might even be both. Might be both.
All right, well, go get yourself an Alani. Let's get fired up.
I
You
already got
guys,
one.
let's have a great day. Be on the top producer call tomorrow. Find out more about Powerhouse. Let's have a great day. Love you guys. Enjoy it. Let's go make
See
the
y'all
most
in
of
the
it.
Mac room.
Let's go.
Bye.
See you guys.